Good evening. We're glad you're joining us this evening. I'm here tonight with Gloria Bock. Gloria is our parish administrator. Every month, Gloria and I have a meeting, and the intent of that meeting is for Gloria to bring me up to speed on some of the things that are happening here at the church. Gloria, for the bulk of it, is in charge of financial pieces, in charge of some facility stuff, and really informs me. This is where we sit down, and Gloria really brings me up to speed on the things that are going on, especially with finances, but other things that are happening throughout the church that Gloria is in charge of that I might need to know about. So we thought this month we would invite you into our meeting so that you might know a little bit and be caught up on some of the things that are happening here, especially finances, but just some things that are happening here in the building as well. So at our meeting today, we're going to talk about 4 things: current and benevolence. We're going to talk about the Paycheck Protection Program through the Small Business Association. We're going to talk about our vision appeal, Ignite Faith Together. And then we're going to talk about our last capital campaign, Beyond This Day, specifically with regards to the organ. So that's really our agenda for today. Now, one of the first things I really want to talk about is our current and benevolence, which is our budget and how we deal with our budget. And so with our current and benevolence, we really, bottom line, for those of us who are not financial people, bottom line we look at is how healthy are we with our income, and then how good are we at keeping our expenses. But today I want to talk about income and how we're doing with that. So could you tell us, especially as we began in this period of pandemic, so about mid-March to now close to the end of May, can you just give us an idea of where we are financially with our income?
I certainly can. People have been very generous. As of the end of April, people have given $350,000 of the budget, which is at $361,000. So they've given like 97% of the budget.
Yeah, which is really healthy.
Which is very healthy.
Especially going into the summer. We always look for going into the summer, how are we? And 97% of budget is good for us. So some people might go, well, that's not 100%. Well, that's all right. We're still very healthy with that. A lot of times it gets offset with expenses as well. And something that we always like to keep people aware of is that while we're, in this place right now, we're good, we're healthy right now.
We're very good.
A financial year always is looked at the end of December and how we look there. So we're glad to be healthy, and it will all play out. We're especially glad that you're so faithful with your giving. It has been incredible for us. Gloria, you've told me before, you're amazed when you go to our post office box and pull out the gifts that people are giving to us. So thank you for your hard work in that. Now, along with that, with our budget, one of our biggest expense really is payroll. And while we don't reflect the preschool payroll in our own budget, we are in a sense responsible for the preschool payroll because we make sure it gets done. We make sure it happens. Even though as far as we are concerned with bylaws, they're a separate entity from us. As far as federal ID, they are the same as us.
Yes, they're under our umbrella.
I explained that to you because the preschool wanted to continue paying its teachers. And so to do that, ask about getting the small business loan, the Paycheck Protection Program that was out there. And so we took a look at that as well and decided that it is our way of helping the preschool continue to pay their staff. As you need to be aware of also, we continue to pay our staff. So we applied for and received this PPP, which I'm going to turn this over to Gloria again, but I want you to know this. This was a monumental piece of work to do to get this, and Gloria did it for us. So Gloria, just fill us in a little bit How much did we get for the PPP? And can you tell us also what are we allowed to use that money for?
Okay, we applied and received $161,200, which was based on a formula, and it was like 2.5 times our monthly cost. And in that cost are salaries, benefits, which would be medical insurance and retirement contributions, um, leases, any leases we have on equipment.
Like our copier.
Like our copier.
We lease our copier, so that could be paid through this PPP.
Right.
Okay.
Utilities, electric, gas, water, also telephone and internet. And some payroll taxes, including workers' comp.
So bottom line is, while we're healthy financially, and we've just said that, this PPP, it's going to help us and benefit us as well, because as we talked earlier, bottom line is really at the end of the year. And so this PPP is going to help us in these months to recover anything that we might be experiencing toward the end of the year.
Right. There's some paperwork I have to submit to them because from the time we get the money, and they want us to use it up within 8 weeks. And then we have to report back to them what all we've used it for. And then if we have any left over, we will return it. But we have to follow special guidelines so that it can be forgiven.
And that's the word we like as Christians. This is a forgivable loan, which means, as Gloria said, if we follow their directions, then we don't pay any interest on it. And so that's a good thing, and we're really working hard to do that. We've got some other folks in place helping us out, helping Gloria out to look at those things and how are we...
Right. And it is a very low interest loan. It's at 1%.
Yeah. So, very good. I want to move into Ignite Faith Together. For those of you who may not know this, in 2018 we started a vision appeal. And the vision appeal was called Ignite Faith Together. Now, it wasn't a capital campaign because we weren't doing any building. It was called a vision appeal because the building that we were doing really was around the vision. And so one of the things that we put into our vision appeal was reimagining worship. Who knew that in a short time, in 2020, we would be reimagining worship? Because one of the things was to begin live streaming and finding that way that we can connect with an online community. And so we had the foresight to talk about this in 2018 and the wisdom to move in that direction so that by 2020, when we started all this, we already had the proposal. We were moving forward with it. It was a matter of getting the equipment, and fortunately Abby joined us on staff and had the gifts and also the willingness to learn the things that she may not have known, or we've been pushed into some things, haven't we, Abby? Yes, but that came through Ignite Faith Together, and there are other things that we've done with Ignite Faith Together. In the contemporary worship service in the parish hall, we have a whole new system in there that projects onto the screen, that the computer, the sound, all of that. And it's a much better quality than what we had before.
Definitely.
And so a piece of Ignite Faith Together also included some of the really necessary updating of painting, all that kind of stuff. We've seen the narthex and how good the narthex turned out for us. That was something that had to be done several years ago. And so from that, we put into Ignite Faith Together. So Gloria, if you could just remind me and fill us in on the kinds of things that we're moving forward with on Ignite Faith Together, just the immediate things that we're doing, and you know what numbers that may look like, and so.
Right now, currently, we're working on painting the interior of the church. It's basically all the hallways and classrooms. So we have somebody here doing that. We're also going to get started on our family bathroom. I know Tom Oswald is handling the specifics on that.
Now, and the family bathroom, the thing that we're waiting for right now will be permits.
Right, the
So we have to
permits.
get permits from the city.
Right.
And until those permits come in, we can't start on the family
Yeah,
bathroom.
the plan is already in place.
Yes.
We know
Okay.
fixtures,
Good.
tile and stuff. We know all that. So currently there's the painter that's working on the inside. We're also going to put in new flooring, some carpeting, and luxury vinyl tile that's like in the narthex. That probably won't be done until probably the 1st of August because we want to get all the painting done. We're also going to do some new furnishings in the gathering area, some tables and chairs. We're having we're taking out the old benches and putting a nice banquette, which is going to kind of wrap around. It's going to be like one long continuous couch. We are taking out the old coffee cabinet and replacing it with a really nice hospitality cart that's going to be on wheels so we can move it around. It's going to basically mirror the narthex with the same fabrics and carpeting.
Very good.
We're also getting new conference chairs, new conference room chairs. So those will be very nice. And we're also going to get some new signage in the church. So whatever room there is, there'll be a new sign for that room. There'll be wayfinding signs of where to find certain rooms that you're looking for, because right now we've changed so many rooms around, it's outdated. And our plan is also to get a nice new map of the building. So
good.
yeah,
Good.
So.
And the reality is much of this needs to be updated. For some of the things, it's been over 15 years that it's been done. And so we're really excited about being able to do this. Could you give us an idea, bottom line? So you said painting, which actually he's here painting in the narthex right now, the area above the glass in the narthex. So family bathroom, the painting, the furniture, some furniture, and I think there's a fourth thing that I'm not thinking of. The signage. Thank you. So bottom line, what are those 4 items going to cost us?
About $143,000.
Okay. So what do we have in Ignite Faith Together right now?
The end of April was $122,000.
Okay.
But we get anywhere from $6,000 to $10,000 or more a month in Ignite Faith funds. So we'll have enough money to cover that.
And if you're new with us, you may be wondering, well, how do I give, or what are these Ignite Faith funds? In 2018, people pledged to Ignite Faith Together and are being very faithful with their pledges and giving their pledges for this. And that's how we came up with the $140,000+ that we have right now. If you are wanting to give to Ignite Faith Together, Gloria, how would they be able to do that?
If you feel comfortable in going online on our website, there's a tab where you can make your contribution under. We use a provider called Vanco, so you can make an online contribution. You can also just mail in a check if you like, and just in the memo section, just put Ignite Faith Together.
And if you'd like to make a pledge, which means that you're saying, I will, on a monthly basis or a yearly basis or whatever the case may be, give this much money to Ignite Faith Together, that helps us sort of look out and plan ahead what it is that we're able to do as well. So, and capital campaigns are vision appeals. Really, Ignite Faith Together is a vision appeal, but capital campaigns are not unknown to churches. We often do them to build the building up, or sometimes the parking lot needs to be repaired, or if there are major things that need to be done. Our last capital campaign here, Gloria, was Beyond This Day.
Right.
And can you remind me what the dates were?
The dates were 2004 to 2007.
So where the end of Beyond This Day came about 13 years ago, correct? All right. Now, as is sometimes the case, line items get put into, and this is in our endowment, not in our budget necessarily, but in our endowment monies. There are some line items there that pertain to the organ. from monies that were given 13 years ago for the organ. And so what we're looking at now are two line items and how we can use that money to, as of this point right now, finish the organ. And we talked with Tom Gerke about this. So there's about $150,000 in those two line items.
Correct.
Now, it does mean that we're going to have to add a little bit to it because it's not exactly $150,000.
We'll have a little bit left over.
Okay, very good.
So,
that little bit left over, well, we'll get to that in just a moment. But that $150,000, in fact, Charles Kegg, who built our organ originally, is here now also putting into place some of the things that he and Tom have decided need to be in place, or maybe not need to be, but that we're excited about being able to put on the organ to complete that project. So in the future, any money that we have, or money that's left over, as you say, is going to go into any organ repair that we might have. At this point, we're not looking to build up the organ any more than it is, or will be as we complete it. Now, some of you who know about organs and know about all the good stuff, I will tell you this, you can talk to Tom, and Tom will be happy to tell you what it is that's been added to the organ at this point. So as we complete the organ, this is one way that we can also see, finally, that the Beyond This Day campaign is done. Really, for a capital campaign to survive 13 years after it's finished is sort of unheard of. We tend to want to use that money for its intended use. And so finally here in 2020 we found that this is a good opportunity for us to do that. Now, I also want to make mention, Gloria, that you and I would like folks to know this too, that we do not do this in a vacuum. That Gloria and I don't sit in her office or my office and make decisions. We have the support committee. Gloria, do you want to tell us a little bit about your interaction with the support committee? And really, what is the support committee?
Well, the support committee oversees the finances of the church. They're making sure that we're good stewards of our money and how we spend it. And, we work together every year, work on a budget, and I work closely together with Bob Toby, and then support reviews the recommended budget and goes off to council for approval. So anything in the budget, in those line items, we can go ahead and spend the money, as making sure that we stay within the budget. Now, there are some things that may come up that are large, that needs to go through support for recommendation to council, like with all the Ignite Faith projects. As those come along, we submit the proposal to them and they take a look at it and make any recommendations or things they think we may need to do, like get other bids. And
right.
Things.
No one person is capable of handling finances on their own. So we appreciate what support does to keep us in line with our finances, and also that we're good stewards. That's a big word, again, for Christians, is that we want to be using the money that God's given us through you in the best way that we can. And the best way to do ministry here at All Saints, but also to do ministry out in the world as well. Once support does a recommendation, typically all things go to council. They don't get into the nuts and bolts of everyday work. That's for a group like support to do. But council looks more at overall, and are we doing good ministry for Jesus Christ in this world? And how are we doing that ministry, and can we do it in different ways? And so we're very blessed with our council as well. And we have wonderful leaders here at All Saints, leaders that Gloria and I value and trust their wisdom. And quite honestly, we will say that we don't always agree, but in the end, we know that it is all for the good. And we're pleased. And as we've talked today about, it is about your faithfulness to God. The reason we give our money is because we are faithful to God. It's a part of what we are called to do as believers. And as believers, we give our resources so that ministry might happen in the world, so that we are able to work with places like Lutheran Social Services or food pantries or Choices, domestic violence shelter. Your dollars help us move about in this world to do good ministry. But it's not just our dollars that matter. Our resources are ourselves as well. And so we thank you for giving of yourself to do the ministry of Jesus Christ in this world. So Gloria, thank you for having this meeting with me today and bringing me up to speed. Blessings to you as you go about the rest of your day, and may you continue to be blessed. If you have questions, feel free to let Gloria and I know.